the person who is composing the message, the person who is sending that information, which means that person has in communication terms, we say has encoded that message. And as a communicator, as you encode your message, you must be able to consider who is your audience, what skills do they have, what language do we use as we are encoding the message as a leader, because in today's world, we are managing a variety of people in the organization, differences in generation. Languages like Gen Z's come in, Generation Y's and millennials, and there are also those of them they call the old, maybe old people, or in other terms, one time I heard them saying the old days. So you're managing all this, and not all of them have the similar communication needs. So as a leader, you have to meet the communication needs of all these people. So yes, the element number one is now that the sender of the message. There's also the element of the message itself. How do you package that communication? Different, again, users will require different packaging. Yeah, I always liken this to even the way you go into a supermarket and the various ways that things are packaged. Yeah, some things are just picked because of the way that that someone has packaged it. It appeals to different people in different ways. Others see color, others see the packaging material itself. Yeah, so communication is, when you are doing communication encoding, you are considering the packaging of that communication, and you're also considering how will this message be received, so the message itself. And we do that in what we call the 7 C's of communication. Yeah, is your communication clear? Is your communication concise? Is your communication correct? Correct also, and accurate. Yeah, is your communication coherent? Is your communication complete? Is your communication courteous? Yeah, in the government, you also have to use the certain languages, the certain way you package your communication, whether you're communicating up the ladder or down the ladder of the organization divide. There's a way you package. Yeah, one often joked about term is that you cannot delegate upwards, or you cannot give orders when you're communicating upwards of the organization. You will be doing things like requesting or suggesting or giving advice, for example, when you're communicating up the ladder. So we're just saying that the sender of the message is one key element of communication. The message itself is another key element as far as communication is concerned. The channel of communication, the channel choice, yeah, because some communication will be lost or because of the channel that has been chosen. Did you choose to use written communication? Did you choose to do verbal communication? Did you send it by phone? Did you maybe make a call? Did you send a letter, physical letter, for example? Yeah. So again, in the communication, strategic leadership communication, you must be able to decide or decipher which channel will best suit your communication. And even as you do that in strategic leadership, you also must be considering your recipients or the receiver of that communication. Yeah. What skills do they have? What knowledge do they have? What biases do they have? Yeah, so that they'll be able to receive that information. But again, more importantly for the leader is the concept of feedback. Yeah, what strategies does a leader have to receive feedback? So we are just saying that leadership communication or communication is very important to the leader. I don't know what you think, but I want to open this up to us. And the issue of discussion is, what is the place of communication to the leader? Do you think it plays that very important role? Or is it true that to be a leader, you must be able to communicate? So the question I'm asking is, what's the place of communication in the life or in the function of an organization's leader? So we are welcome. Any of us can raise up their hands and say something. If you want to comment about that question that I've just posed. I'm seeing Abdullahi is here saying Gen Z's age group 11 to 26. Yes, from 18 they can start joining the organization. So leaders, we are open for discussion. What's the place of communication to the strategic leader, and how do you go about this as you do your work? Okay, Kibwana Zamani, you can start. Kibwana, your hand was up, so you can start giving your comments.
Sorry, I started talking, but I realized I had not unmuted. Yes, thank you. Communication is a very important aspect in leadership, because as you see, in fact, one of the important things for a leader to do, like we have seen in the previous module, is the joint vision. So there's no way that your vision will be understood and owned by your people if your communication is not good. So definitely, among other things, the joint vision, communicating your strategies, and everything. So as a leader, it is very difficult for you to succeed in all the parameters if your communication is not good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kibwana. And succeeding speakers, it will be nice to see you. So if you can put on your video when you are speaking, that would be glad. And then you tell us, my name is so-and-so, I work for this organization. I know this is an online course, so most likely some of you have never met one another. So maybe at another time we'll get to see Kibwana, but let's bring in Musyoka. Musyoka Matthew, your hand is up. So yes, your video, your work, and then your comment.
A very good afternoon to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
My name is Musyoka Matthew. I work for NSSF.
Yes.
And, go ahead. In what you have raised, communication plays a very important role. Actually, communication is the blood for any kind of strategic plan to be in place. Without communication, then we are not able to pass whatever we want to pass across clearly. So communication plays a very important role in ensuring whatever we want to get across is well done and well delivered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Matthew. Caroline, go ahead.
My name is Caroline Cheruiyot.
Yes.
I am the Corporation Secretary and Head of Legal at Kenya Leather Development Council. Mine is a comment on communication. You said that you could either be communicating vertically or horizontally, where vertically could be upwards or downwards. Well, you also said that vertically it could be to your superiors, where you are supposed to be making requests or suggestions.
Yes.
And downwards, probably you would be giving directions, directing. Now, my question is on horizontal. That would mean you are communicating with or to people at your level.
Mm-hmm.
So the communication should take which angle when you are communicating with peers? Is it still requesting or it's consulting?
Oh, okay. I think you've answered, yeah? With your peers, you could be consulting, yeah? Peer to peer. Consulting, requesting, because you cannot direct, because there are no direct reporting links, right? So that could be peer-to-peer consultation or request. So requests are also okay. You can make a request to your peer, yeah. Yes, you can even be doing, apart from vertical, horizontal, there even the diagonal, especially when you are working in a project whereby the organization is a matrix. It's a matrix kind of organizational structure where you have to even to talk to people who are not in your department, for example. Yeah, so there's a lot of consulting going on among the colleagues. But maybe somebody else can add on that. But I hope that suffices, Madam Caroline. Unless you still have a further question. That's okay?
No, that's okay.
Okay, let me bring in Kaplaigia. That's a nice name. I wish to know who you are and where you are, Kaplaigia. I hope I pronounce your name well, sorry. Yes, go ahead, you can see.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Yes, you have pronounced my name correctly. My name is Fred Kaplaigia. I work for NSSF. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. Proceed.
Okay. You have asked what is the place of communication in the functions or
of a leader.
Whatever a leader.
Yes.
My answer is communication is central in the functions of a leader. As a leader, you would want to be understood, whether you are communicating upward or downward. You would want to be understood. So communication is central because for you to effectively pass your message, whether to your junior or superiors, you would want to be understood. So communication is it is central in this aspect because a clear message will be understood. So my response is that communication is central in the functions of a leader because it assists the leader to be understood by those he leads or those above him. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaplaigia, for that comment. I don't know whether Musyoka has spoken. If Musyoka has spoken, let's hear Philip, then Beatrice.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. I have spoken already.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip Murioki from the Ministry of Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management. And I just want to support Kaplaigia because in my view, without communication, you cannot succeed. It is one of the areas you cannot afford to fail in as a leader, because if you are not able to communicate, then it will not work out right. And if at all you're able to do something without communicating, it means you're working alone, which therefore you're not a leader, you're a single operation. So that's my input.
Thank you. Philip, I want to stay with you a bit. Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say public sector leaders, or how would you say leaders communicate? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is highest. Where are we as far as communication is concerned? Are we a 10? Are we a 1? Are we where do we fall as leaders?
I don't think I can call it as leaders. Everyone is the same. There are those leaders who are super in communication. They may not even have content, but they certainly know how to reach out to people and talk. And then on the other hand, you have technocrats who know everything, but they do not know how to take it down. So I think it is not an umbrella statement you can make about leaders. You can just say that you would have to gauge each one individually, and the scale can range from what you have said, from 0 to 10. You have 10 performers and you have 0 performers within the same environment.
Thanks, Philip. Allow me to bring in Beatrice. Beatrice, as you make your comment, also tell us how can we bridge this gap between the 0 and the 1s, and especially when the zeros or the 1s are highly skilled and yet low on communication. Beatrice, please. Beatrice is, are you there, Beatrice? Yes, go ahead. Beatrice, you're muted. Kindly unmute.
Sorry. I was talking without unmuting. My name is Beatrice Cheruiyot. I work for the National Gender and Equality Commission. I'm the Assistant Director of Finance, Accounts and Planning.
Yes.
So my comments about communication is that it's very vital. I want to agree with all the other earlier colleagues who have spoken, that it is vital and efficient in leadership, because it helps to build rapport and trust among colleagues, and it also encourages collaborations towards a common goal. Most institutions in public service, our common goal is to serve mwananchi. And I want to agree with the immediate predecessor that gauging the public service on communication is quite difficult, because different leaders can be rated differently. But I would want to put a general of 6 to the government, because most of the communication that we get is from the media, and not the government itself. It's the media which goes a step ahead and gets those information and pass it to mwananchi. So probably what the government should do is it enhances communication channels. We know we have the government press, but we rarely hear from them. It's the other medias that bring the communication. And we also have social media, which is quite good at passing information. So communication, I think we should focus so much on the current IT, that is information technology, and try to bring the information faster, which is very reliable and a quick way of communicating. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Mariam, you want to chip in? Mariam,
yes, my name is Miriam.
Yes.
My name is Miriam. I work at the Cooperative University of Kenya. For me, I just want to bring the angle of the fact that at leadership level, at some point, you will need to negotiate for resources. And therefore, you will need to be very good in communication, and especially the written communication. You'll be doing a report. In that report, where you are maybe requesting or lobbying for something, you need to be able to communicate very well. And in this regard, I want to bring in ICT. And as leaders, I want to suggest that we can make use of AI tools that can now help us do memos, do letters, do reports, and do all kinds of write-ups. So communication is very key in that regard, and we can make use of the ICT resources to help us in that. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Miriam, you brought in something I've been dreading, AI. Are we already adapting? How are we using it in our organizations? And what are the fears?
I think we have adapted a bit slower. Like coming from university, I think our students took it up faster than us. But at the Cooperative University of Kenya, we are adapting it. I personally am making use of the AI tools. For example, when I am working on maybe a memo, I do the drafting, and then the editing is done for me by AI tools. The AI tools can also help you like come up with an outline of the memo, etc. So for me, I think we have been slow, but we are catching up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Miriam. Abdullahi, do you have a question for Miriam, or you want to make another comment? Oh, okay. Abdullahi has gone. Okay. So I hear what you say.
Just add.
Caroline, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add.
Yes.
Hello?
Abdullahi, go ahead.
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to add on what everybody else said. You're right.
Yes.
Communication is very vital in our leadership engagement. But one thing most of us forget or downplay is the listening skills. If you are talking to your audience and you're not be able to listen and keenly decipher what the issue is, you will fail. No matter what technology you use, no matter what tactics you use. So the underlying is whatever improvement we do, we must also encourage our skills of listening skills in communication, which is very important.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, Abdullahi. I think that's very important, the concept of listening, yeah? Because sometimes, even as a leader, somebody walks into your office and without even raising your face, you tell them, go ahead, say it. And you are very busy, maybe working on a document or signing or whatever it is. So the speaker is not even sure if you are listening to them, yeah? And so the listening skills being brought out by Abdullahi is very, very important, that you may have what to say, but if you're not listening, then that is a weakness. So thank you very much for that contribution. Is there another hand again? Okay.
Yes, there's a hand from me, Caroline. Yes, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Caroline.
Yes, mine is more of a question, and I just want to throw it to you as the facilitator. When is silence also the best form of communication? Because it's not all the time that you have to answer everything or to be, you know, a strategic leader that you have to respond to everything. So when or in which situation would it be best to just keep silent and still that would be considered effective communication?
I like that question. I like that question. Who wants to respond? Because some people say silence is the best answer. So Caroline is asking, when is silence the best answer? Abdullah, you are smiling. Maybe you want to give it a shot. When is silence? And is silence an answer anyway? So when is it the best?
Actually, I agree with her. Silence is very crucial. It will kind of send some signals, which will give you. Can you hear me?
Somebody needs to mute.
Hello? Hello?
Muted all of us. Okay, now I can hear you. Can you hear me? Abdullah, kindly unmute. Or you can't hear. Geoffrey, maybe you can unmute Abdullahi. Okay. But can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. You can hear me?
Abdullah is muted.
Abdullah is muted.
Kindly unmute.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Proceed, we can hear you.
Okay. So I agree with the last speaker. Sometimes silence is a solution. For example, someone walks into your office, they come in yelling and shouting and all that. If you listen and you keep quiet for a few seconds, they will come down as well. So part of silence is part of communication. And then from there, you will be able to direct that person. Maybe you are not even the right authority for that aggression or that discontent from that person seeking information. So you should be able to at least sometimes break, listen, and then from there you should be able to respond or even give direction. But sometimes you don't have to respond to everything everybody says. So I agree with her. So that's why I was smiling. I also employ that a lot.
Okay. So Caroline, what we are saying is you can employ silence. Discretion is on you on when and how much silence you are going to give. There's a silence that can be given in defiance, but there's a silence you can give as you compose yourself to be able to respond or to be able to understand. The one in defiance, not good, but the one to compose yourself, especially when somebody comes at you aggressively, or maybe when you feel yourself, even as a leader, you can feel you're not composed enough to respond due to maybe whatever issues you may be going through, then silence could be a response, just enough to help you gather yourself up and give it a shot. I hope that responds.
Thank you very much. Yes, it is. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, and somebody is also saying here, how binding is a WhatsApp message? Maybe Philip, I don't know who else can respond to this. Is WhatsApp official in your organizations? Do you use it in the official category? How do you use WhatsApp? There's a question here on the chat about by Miriam Dumo. Yes. Is WhatsApp official in your cases? How official? Oh, silence. I know we use WhatsApp a lot. Okay, Mr. Mohammed, you want to give it a response? Go ahead.
Yeah, we do use a lot of WhatsApp nowadays in our engagements, but myself, I believe an official communication should be email, because WhatsApp, nowadays we have some phones where after 24 hours the message might disappear and you will not be able to retrieve. But email, it's always there and you can always refer. So as a medical practitioner, I always get my medical reports on WhatsApp. At the same time, I request some crucial documents to be sent to my email. So sometimes I also send from my WhatsApp to my email for reference. But WhatsApp, we are losing documentations here and there, but I've never lost anything on email. So I think an official communication should still remain email, unless we are coming up with these new technologies with artificial intelligence and what have you, and they come up with those things, that will be good. But for now, I think email will be sufficient enough.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Miriam, I think we use it a lot, even in our organization, but just for advanced communication. Advanced means as the other official information comes, we need you to get this information as quickly as possible. But I also agree with Agum, who is saying we should outline the various communication channels and their strategies. So every other organization at least should have a communication strategy, yeah, that tells your people these are our methods of communication, these are our official ways of engagement, and that will help you even now and also into the future, and even with direct, those who are coming in on board. When you have your communication strategy, it also helps you in onboarding the new members into your organization. But there should be some clarity as to how should people communicate. All right. Yes, Gladys, I think you'll speak. Then we close that session. Gladys Coletit. I hope I pronounced that name well. Gladys, please. Yes.
Yes, you pronounced well. Thank you. I wanted to comment on WhatsApp, and from legal practice nowadays, you can serve court documents or summons via WhatsApp. So I think it is now becoming, yes, it's acceptable to serve someone through WhatsApp. So it's becoming acceptable form of communication. That is what I wanted to contribute.
Thank you, Gladys. I'm here laughing. How do you serve me on WhatsApp? You just send the whatever and you assume I received?
Yes, from your last mobile number that you're using.
Yes.
The
last one that you officially know.
Yes. The last known and used telephone number.
Okay, so members, there you have it. You can be served a court details, and you won't pretend that I didn't get it. Now you heard it from the legal friends. Okay, leaders, we are talking about communication. We are saying it is very important for us. Key issues have come out, listening skills, letting people understand. We are communicating because you want to be understood. We are communicating, we have to be clear for us to be successful leaders, and therefore we must put effort in perfecting our communication skills, our communication strategies. To be a great leader, you must be able to learn to communicate. You can be savvy as far as knowledge is concerned about your area of practice, but you still need to be able to communicate well. And leaders communicate even through their their leadership style. What is your leadership style, and what does that style say about you? We say that communication again, or your leadership, is rooted on the values and cultures. What are the values and cultures that you want to espouse in your organization? Yeah. How do people speak to one another? How do the superiors speak to the seniors? How do the seniors speak to the juniors, for example? Yeah, a good leader must focus on what is the mission, what is the people, what is teamwork. One of us said that if you want to work alone, then you are not a team leader. Let's bring in the concept, even as we discuss communication. I wanted to bring in the concept of emotional intelligence, but also just to wrap up communication and say that every leader must find ways of getting feedback. Whatever organization you work for, find your unique ways of getting feedback. Sometimes it is said that the higher you go, the lonelier it becomes. I don't believe so. But sometimes when you do not allow people to give you feedback or to speak to you or to give you your views, when you're a leader who is a yes man and there's no divergent opinions, then people might not give you feedback, and you may never know whether we are going to sink or whether we are still floating. So as a leader, find ways of getting feedback. Either you have accountability person, someone you can say, can you now say, that is what you want me to hear, but can you now say the truth, or can you now tell us the way things are? Yeah. When you do that, sometimes you might be able to see the reds that somebody was not able to tell you, especially when you are a leader who always wants yes, yes, yes. Gladys, you might need to talk to Maureen later. She has a problem accepting WhatsApp as official communication. Yeah, so I want us to pick that conversation maybe later on the platform, on your platform, the discussion forum. You're still free to be discussing in that area. But let me bring in the concept of emotional intelligence. I don't know what is your take, but where we are coming from, I mean, traditionally IQ is what matters, yeah? But more recently, people have been talking about emotional intelligence. When I talk about emotional intelligence, I make a reference to how you are able to handle yourself, your own emotions as a leader, and also understanding the emotions of those we deal with, because people come to our organization wholesomely the way they are. So the leader needs also, in as much as the leader needs to understand their own emotions, they also need to understand the emotions of the people that they are dealing with. Somebody has said that emotional intelligence is sometimes better than IQ. That IQ will get you the job, IQ will open for you the door, but EQ will keep you in that position, or will help you advance. I don't know what is your take, but I'm going to open this up again for discussion. But even as you do that, Daniel Goleman once said that the capacity of a leader to recognize their own feelings and those of others and what motivates their actions, right? Sometimes we have seen leaders lose their cool. Plato said that it is easy to be angry, but it is difficult to be angry with the right person in the right degree and for the right reasons, right? Because sometimes you get over angry. I don't have anything against teachers, but something I always wonder or ponder upon is when you hear in the news that a teacher was disciplining a child and they went overboard and the child died. I always console myself that maybe that was not the intention. The original intention may have been just to discipline, but is a leader who has failed to manage their emotions, yeah, whether they are emotions of anger, the emotions of disgust, or whatever emotions they had. Because when we talk about emotion, we talk about self-awareness, we talk about social awareness, we talk about self-management, we talk about relationship management. We bring all this together as leaders so that we are able to be wholesomely successful, because as a leader, we are also empowering others in the organization. So the big question is, dear leaders, what is the place of emotions in the life of a leader? And what are your strategies for dealing with your emotions? Because we cannot say you should not be emotional. We are emotional beings. So what's the place of emotions? How do we deal with emotions as a leader? What effect does an emotional outburst of a leader have on the subordinates, all right? Because we have had sometimes, the worst one I saw was when a director was presenting to a board somewhere, and the team leader of that director shouted, what kind of report is this? And took the report and tore it. And this was a financial report. The person who had been working on it had been working on it for 2 months. And there was, I saw an evident shaking on the person whose document had been torn. So with that background, leaders, what is the place of emotions? How do we deal with our emotions as far as our leadership life is concerned? Do you think it's something that we should be discussing? It's open again now for panel, so that you can give us your views. Yes, we are opening up for discussion on matter emotional intelligence. Any comments on that one? I hope I'm still with you, or you already left me. Hello?
We are together. We are together.
Wow, wow. Kiplegia, come to my rescue. What is the place of emotional intelligence in the life of
just as we have talked about the life of, the place of communication in the functions or in the life of a leader. Similarly, emotions in the life of a leader is also crucial. I'm aware of some leaders who cannot give chance to others to respond. If the leader is talking, even in an informal setup, and you want to chip in, that leader even raises his or her voice to the not contribute, and eventually the leader is left to talk alone. So if that leader had controlled his or her emotions at the time of communication and be patient for others also to contribute, it would have helped in the discussion. So emotions are very crucial. They very central in the life of a leader. That's what I can say for now.
Thank you very much. Kiplega says emotional intelligence, understanding your emotions are very crucial in the life of a leader. And with this unit, it kind of makes us naked, can I say? because it opens you up to your weaknesses. None of us would like our weaknesses to come out clearly, but I'm seeing Tuku. Tuku, you want to say something on this issue of emotional intelligence? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mwalimu, for the opportunity. What I would like to say is with emotional intelligence, you cannot just say exclusively to be emotionally intelligent at the workplace. It has to become kind of an extended arm of yourself, where at home you also practice the emotional intelligence, so that when you come to the workplace, you don't have to kind of keep switching. Remember this year, I can't do this. It becomes second nature to yourself by affecting all aspects of yourself, be able to practice without
Thank you, thank you. Tuku, you are waving a bit, but I got you about being calm, yeah? Being calm. Okay, John Karanja, go ahead. Speak to us about emotional intelligence, yes?
Yeah,
Karanja. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to say it's a key component.
Yes.
Because to have emotional intelligence, because as readers we do deal with many people, so it's how we empathize with them, how we communicate with them effectively, and then how to handle situations at the workplace and also when not in the workplace. How to deal with conflict. Conflict might arise anytime. So how do we deal with conflict? So it's important that we demonstrate emotional intelligence. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I seem to be muted. Oh, okay, fine. So I think the speaker who just spoke said there's a lot about being able to handle your emotions, because conflict will definitely arise. You can't deny that conflicts will arise, both to your direct reports and even above, all right? And the essence of this course is to help the leader identify themselves, be self-aware of the issues that can trigger your emotions. What are your red flags? So being able to diagnose yourself, being your own doctor, what are those things that are triggering your emotions? And is it possible? How do we deal with them? Yeah, issues to do with self-confidence, issues to do with how will this behavior impact on others? Yeah, how do the behavior of the others impact upon me? Do I have any fears? Yeah. As a leader, do you have any fears that maybe you think you need to deal with? So this is a kind of like a self-examination, because emotional weaknesses will maybe close certain doors for us that would have been opened if we were more stable. In several instances, somebody may just be testing how much can we be able to withstand, especially when you're doing negotiations. Yeah, I've noticed this with several negotiations, and somebody walks away from the negotiation table because of maybe what somebody said, but which they would have managed in a different way for the betterment of their organization. There was a hand that was up. I want to give you a chance. Was there a hand that was raised? Who wanted to comment on the issues of emotional intelligence? Yes, Kitonyi. Kitonyi, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commenting about emotional intelligence, I think I would want to look at it as the most impactful form of communication, because the way you are able to handle emotions from others and from your own self yourself communicates a lot about, your stance on a particular subject. Now, as a leader, I'm looking at a leader being able to make others aspire to do what he wishes them to do. And if that then be the case, the way we handle the emotions really matters. If we are to motivate people, the way we react to their emotions matters greatly. And therefore, I find it again to be extremely important how you react to the emotions of others and your own internal emotions, because there are some times when you realize we don't speak, but we communicate through the way we react. And because we impact people in the way we react, either facially or, reacting now in terms of, the talk. So the emotional intelligence really is central to leadership. Thank you. Mwalimu, I'm through.
Thank you, Kitonyi. I was already speaking. Sorry, I was muted. I was just saying, leaders, this is important for us to take cognizance of. Recently, I was speaking to someone who was telling me he had to take a salary cut to take a job because he was leaving his place of work, to take a job lower in salary than what he initially was earning, because he considered the place where he was working to be toxic, in the sense that there were some issues with emotions that were not met on the person that he reported to. And so as a leader, you should not be the person who is causing your organization to suffer or people to leave your organizations because you cannot be able to handle your emotions. So I wish to speak to you again more sincerely that we look at how we deal with our emotions. This also goes to do with even your health, because when things are not dealt with, even health-wise, you might be in trouble with your health, because emotions can pile up. So this is an area we encourage leaders as we discuss the concept of emotional intelligence, that you need to heighten your emotional intelligence, your understanding of yourself. You're dealing with your angers, you're dealing with your fears, you're dealing with your sadness, you're dealing with your trust issues, you're dealing with all those issues, all those emotional issues that can affect you as a person, and can also affect your department, and can also affect the feeling of the people that you're working with. If there's someone that you need to talk to, if there's a book you need to read, if there are some reconciliations you need to do, is very important, so that you're able to self-manage. That is regulating ourselves, regulating our sensitivity to other people, getting along with others, even as a leader, being able to clearly express our emotions, and also social awareness, because we deal with human beings who are social beings. And that brings me to another concept, which is called coaching and mentoring. Yeah, because as a leader, you might be dealing with issues that requires coaching and mentoring. The two words are almost twins, or maybe you can call them cousins. The concept of coaching and mentoring. I normally say that the coach is the one who helps you to bring out your potential. Yeah, you might know, you might be having potential, you know what is to be done, but there's just that concept that needs a push from someone who can take the place of a coach in your life. And so today, coaching is a multi-million-dollar business. Either it is a life coach, or it is a professional coach, or it's a career coach, right? As a leader, somebody called Jack Welch, maybe you might have known him or read about him. He said somewhere that before you are a leader, success is about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, then your success is about growing others, so that your leadership can grow others, and others can also be leaders. At any point in time, we are, can I say that we are holding the mantle, the leadership mantle, and maybe to be precise, the various positions that we occupy. I know you can be a leader without a position, but in this context, I'm speaking about that leadership position you are currently occupying. You're holding it for some time, and then we will hand it over to the next generation. And therefore, it's important to coach so that people develop skills, people can be able to perform, so that, again, we are also able to manage even issues like succession planning or things like that, because sometimes somebody retires and there's no one to take their place, because maybe nobody else was prepared. I don't know whether I can be able to show you an image I have here from your notes. There's an image that always interests me. So let me see if I can be able to share this screen. Okay, so that you're able to see. If I'm not able to share, I will apologize and refer you to that document on your notes, whereby there's an image of a coach and a mentor. And they say that the mentor is the expert in the room. The coach will push you to where you are supposed to be, but the mentor will pull you to be where they are. I don't know whether that rings a bell or that resonates. That the coach gives you a push because they know that you are able to attain some level of success. But the mentor is more of an expert. The mentor knows it all. I'm not saying the coach doesn't know, but the coach does not have to be necessarily in your field to be able to give you coaching advice. This is not football coaching, because football coaching, somebody must have played football. But a leadership coach, someone can be in banking and coach you if you are in engineering. Yeah, that is what I mean. And you don't have to physically meet with your coach. You can admire your coach through their works, even their writings, even their books, what they have done before, and then you learn from them. Some of us here are saying that Wangari Maathai, for example, is their coach, yeah, because of maybe the work that she was able to do. So I'm saying in leadership today, you are a coach, yes, as a leader. That is something that you must do. But you may also need a coach, especially when you are having blocks, like you're just not seeing a way forward. You may just need somebody who can help you think things through. But for someone who is getting into the organization or changing jobs or maybe requiring a new skill, then you may need a mentor. I don't know what you may wish to add on the concepts of coaching and mentoring, but I want to say that they are important aspects of leadership that a leader who wants to develop and exploit their full potential will take up some coaching, or somebody to give you coaching lessons or coach you or show you how to exploit your potential. And as a mentor, you may need someone with certain skills that maybe you don't have. So in leadership in the organization, if you are the top leaders, then maybe your coach might be someone outside your organization. But those leaders in the organization, you can do coaching and mentoring to people who are lower than you, or for that matter. Do I have a comment or a question on coaching and mentorship? Okay, so there seem to be no comments on that area, but I just want to reiterate that this should be taken as seriously as possible. Some of you may be going through, or even going for an interview, yeah? There's a difference between a candidate who, and I'm not using coached in the context of a bad word, but a candidate who spoke to a coach, a candidate who prepared with a coach is different from a candidate who did not prepare, because there's a way a coach will help you to bring out certain issues or certain nuances. So you need a coach. You can have several coaches for various aspects of your life. Or maybe just a sounding board, someone you can listen to you with the challenges that you're facing in the organization. So having said so, a leader is also in charge of a team. So as you go about your leadership, you are also in charge of your team, and ensuring that your team is performing successfully. At the back of our mind, as we discuss leadership, okay, I noticed there's a hand here. Okay, you want to say something?
Yes, I would want to say something, madam.
Please go ahead, please go ahead.
Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for the beautiful presentation you've made on coach and mentor. Kindly make comments on a role model and an idol.
Okay, nice question. A role model and an idol. Okay. Class, who wants to make a comment on role model? And the other one is what? Icon, idol, yeah? All right. Let me open it up for the class to give their views. Caroline Rakama, do you want to say something about a role model and an idol?
Yeah, maybe I may not say it in the right way, but for me, a role model is somebody you look up to, somebody who you want to emulate. There could be either some behavior or just the way in which they carry themselves that you really would like to follow. So it's somebody who is more of a you'd want to aspire to follow. While an idol, I think there's some worship aspect there. So I don't know whether an idol is really a good thing or a person to follow. I think that one now is really, you're not following them probably for the right reasons. It just could be because of something you have seen, not necessarily something that you can learn from them. I think that's my take on it.
All right. Thank you very much, Caroline. One more comment on that, then we proceed. A role model and an idol. Caroline is of the view the idol may not have something positive you want to learn from them. You kind of like worship them. I almost negative in my view. What I'm hearing Caroline saying, it's almost to the negative sense. You can even risk your life for the idol. That's what I'm hearing Caroline saying. Kibwana, you want to say something? Okay, Kibwana is gone, yeah. But yes, as Caroline has said, role model. When I grow up, for example, you've seen somebody do certain things, and you almost want to do it like them. For example, those of us who had teachers as our role model ended up being teachers, for example, because of the way a teacher handled themselves, the way they were doing whatever they were doing. So positively, I think a role model is someone you look up to, someone who has excelled in a particular area of your interest, someone who can influence for the better or influence for the good. The difference between coaching and mentoring is that this is official. There could be even, in other terms, there could be a contract even signed that so-and-so is now your coach for this period of time. You could also sign a mentor to someone. So there's a coaching contract, there's a mentoring contract. It is known that so-and-so is mentoring so-and-so, all right? And in the public service today, there's a requirement for us or government organizations to have policies on coaching and mentoring. I believe it was tied to the concept of succession planning and things like that. Yeah, so it's almost formal most of the time, coaching and mentoring. Role model and idol do not fit into that category. The role model relationship is one way, says Kibwana. The role model may not even know that they are influencing you. That is true. On the other hand, mentoring is two-way with input and feedback. I agree absolutely with Kibwana. Any more questions on coaching and mentoring? Anybody of us who has gone through coaching and mentoring? Maybe you can write on the chat. What is your experience? Is it a career coach? Is it what are you currently doing with coaching and mentoring? Is it something you are pursuing? Is it something the leader needs to consider? Any one of us who is going through mentoring and coaching, you can tell me, yes, I am, and what kind of coaching and what kind of mentoring you're doing. And even while you are there are leaders in this maybe country of ours that maybe you admire as a coach and you wish, I wish I could sit down with so-and-so. If you were to choose a leader, which one? Who among our leaders would you choose as a coach and why? So you could highlight a name and say, I think Elizabeth is a very good leader in A, B, C, D. She will make a good coach for me. I'll be glad to hear some of those names. So I'm waiting to see on the chat two things. Is coaching something that you're already doing? What has been your experience? Is it within the country or is it outside the country? And then the other side of the question is, can we identify some leaders in our country and say that one is a great leader? That should be a coach. So I'm giving 2 seconds for somebody to write that on the chat, even as we transition. Let me see your comments. Am I having any comments? Okay. We missed Mishes. Mishes had said she had put a comment here. Mish had put a comment here that high emotional intelligence fosters better communication, teamwork, conflict resolution, contributing to positive relationship, both personally and professionally. I agree with you. Juliana says a role model is seen as a person who serves as a good example and can be emulated. Thank you. I'm waiting for you to write for me your names here, saying that you are a very good coach. Dear leaders, I'm not seeing any names. You can even say about yourself and say, I think I am very good. I can coach you in this area. Pun intended, although. All right, I'm not seeing any comments as far as that is. Yes, Miriam, say something on that one. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mwalimu. I just want to say that I think I've successfully mentored 1 or 2 people, and it's a very fulfilling thing to do. As you see, maybe a staff coming from being timid, coming up, picking up skills, and just generally developing their communication skills, their operational skills, everything about them. It's a very fulfilling thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to hear somebody say, I have done this. Those are the kind of stories, dear leaders, we want to hear. All right. And that is why you are, you've been given the opportunities that you have, that I have done this and it is fulfilling. It's very important. So do your part in your small way of coaching and mentoring your teams for better performance. I'm seeing here somebody saying President Mwai Kibaki was a great leader and transformative. I think we agree with what President Kibaki has done. Thank you very much for that comment. That is from Okeo. And also thank you, Miriam, for your comment. Now, let me talk about the issue of etiquette and protocol. Etiquette, official etiquette and official protocol in the life of a leader. Again, remember this week we were talking about overally about nurturing those leadership skills. And the soft skills, the ones that make or break the leader. The leader may be already skilled, yes, but there's another concept of protocol and etiquette, because we find ourselves in environments that, can I say, we are not doing business as usual. We are doing business unusual. When I say doing business unusual, you are relating with people of different cultures, you are relating with people of different backgrounds, and they view things in different ways. So protocol and etiquette comes in very key and very important for the leader. When you talk about protocol, it means how should things be done, the procedure, the regulations of how things should be done. Is it a presidential function? Is it a national function? Is it an organizational function? How should the event be run? How should people relate to one another? When you talk about etiquette, now this is you as a person, you as a leader. What are your mannerisms? What are your ways of doing things? How do we perceive you? Yeah, in the soft skills. Somebody has said that etiquette are like what traffic rules are for vehicles on the road, so is etiquette for human beings. So like just the same way you'll see the traffic lights go red when it is time for you to stop. Etiquette help us in determining when is it for us to stop when we are dealing with others. And protocol now tells us how are we procedurally supposed to do things. Yeah, it speaks to issues like order of precedence, right? That is protocol. Who should sit where, for example? in a meeting, or maybe when you're having a function, who should sit where? If people are to speak, protocol says who should speak first, who should speak before who. It has to do with the protocol, has to do with even titles, yeah? What titles are appropriate? What titles shall we use, yeah? If you look at the order of precedence, most organizations have their own, not organizations, but some county governments have their own. There's one that was developed for us by the National Assembly, yeah, protocol, and that is the order of precedence. Act, I believe now it's an act. It was for a long time an order of precedence bill that says in order of seniority, beginning with the president to the lowest officer, what titles do they have, what ranks should we use? So protocol just creates that kind of order, yeah. And in fact, even in diplomatic relations, this is important, yeah. Right from the Vienna Congress of the 1619s and the 1961s, right, that created the sovereignty of nations, yeah. Protocol has been with us. And I want to demystify something that people always say, that these things are foreign. I think they are not foreign. I think we have always had them, yeah. Even in the African context, in an African home setting, for example, there was a way things were done. There were seats reserved for maybe the head of the home. There were foods. Some of us, our cultures, there were foods reserved for a certain category of people. That certain category of people, without mentioning names, were not able to touch, yeah. So I don't think it is as foreign, or they are as foreign as we think. Order of precedence also is used in developing, even setting charts, yeah. In a meeting, when you have gone to negotiate maybe with another government entity or another country, yeah, the seating arrangement will be developed by protocol, right? So these are issues, leaders, that we need to think about. We need to see how they fit in with us. And even issues etiquette. When we come to etiquette, you're talking about your own personal brand, yeah. How do you come out in your, for example, in your dress, in your dining etiquette, right? In strategic leadership, we even talk about how the leader should dine, because we don't want issues embarrassing the leader. When the leader is embarrassed, we are all embarrassed. So we don't want to be embarrassed, okay? Maybe I will post there and ask you to write on the chat, what are some of the embarrassing issues that can come out as far as etiquette and protocol are concerned for the leaders, ranging from dining, dressing, talking, yeah, even communication issues. I want to see in the chat any of those embarrassing situations that we can find ourselves in, but that etiquette and protocol can help us with. So this time around, I am watching the chat very keenly to see those comments. Dining, how should we dine? Yeah, as far as the leaders' dining etiquette are concerned. Dressing, how should we dress? Are there any key issues that we need to take into consideration as we deal with issues etiquette? Maybe let's start dining, yeah? Dining etiquette. Do you think it matters? Do you think it is something we need to discuss, or that one we just leave? Eating is just eating, mwalimu. Hiyo wachana tu nayo. I will be guided by your comments. Aha. I'm already on your charts. As far as dining is concerned, Beji Sen says, talking with a mouth full of food is unacceptable. I agree with you. Caroline Rakanda, what do you say? Dining, improper use of cutlery. That's another area you need to work on. Using cutlery, yeah? Okay, then there is serving too much food. Musioka Susan says serving too much food. Karen Muka says talking while eating, should be checked. Maureen Yayeka says chewing loudly. There is Alice saying using hands instead of fork. Olga says using your phone while eating. Yes, anything that is not a food item should not be on the dining table, especially when you're doing your official dining. But practice makes perfect. So you keep your phones away from the dining table. Yeah, so you are not receiving your calls on the table, you are not texting, especially when you are doing official dining. Using the toothpick improperly, yes, that is Abdimalik. Inappropriate greetings. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, thank you. Then chewing gum, yeah, in public. Dining, Brian Bachia says, speed of eating, Brian? Somebody should monitor their speed. Coach Helen says laughing while eating. Olga. I think James is reacting to Olga using your phone while eating. James is saying, but we are Africans. Yes, we are Africans, but Africans also have protocol and etiquette. Mwinzi says dining can be based on the culture that is presented at the dinner. E.g., if it is a fork and a knife, must not use hands. If it is African, choma, you can use hands. Yes, Mwinzi, I agree with you. You need to check where is the dining taking place. Is it official dining? Is it fine dining? Is it African dining? So that you are able to adhere. Dining, when you're dining with superiors, the superiors serve first. I want to agree with you, Beatrice, on this, because I last had an incident with a CS who was in politics, but now is not in politics. Now she is a CS. And when she went into being a CS, she went with her, for lack of a better word, handlers. Yeah, in politics, we have handlers, right? So her handlers accompanied her now as advisors. Now, these handlers did not know that when they're in a function with CS, the CS takes precedence. The CS eats first, the CS is given first preference. So sometimes when CS is still addressing people, our handlers, they had already gone to the eating area, they have eaten the food, they had finished. By the time the CS is coming, the food is done. So when you're dining with superiors, the superiors serve first. And also, you are also monitoring, yeah, as you're dining with the seniors and dignitaries. You're also monitoring the extent to which they are serving, the speed to which they are eating, because in most circumstances, when you are sitting on that high table with dignitaries, it is almost an unwritten law that when the dignitaries have finished eating, it's more or less like everybody else has finished eating. So you are monitoring their plates, you're monitoring how they're dining. Yeah, because when let's say the president has stood up, when you're dining with them on the table, it will look not very good when you are remaining eating. The people are already moving to the next maybe activity. So that's important. Okay, Jacob Mwimi, what are you saying? Imagine a leader is at a formal business dinner, and while attempting to use the unfamiliar fancy utensils, they accidentally knock over a water glass. Jacob, when it is an accident, it is an accident, all right? So that one should not worry you so much. But yes, being careful is important. But when it's an accident, we understand it is an accident, yeah. This reminds me of the last time that the King of England was here. And remember the State House incident? The officer was marching to go and open the door very fast and slipped and fell. Yeah, somebody will have said it was a breach of protocol, but somebody could say it is an accident. It depends on maybe how you're going to look at it. For me, it was an accident. Yeah, so accidents sometimes happen, but they could cost us a lot, because I'm assuming should the lady had fallen and hit maybe the king or something like that, and the king fell, you know, that would be a diplomatic issue between Kenya and England, for that matter, right? Yes. Now, Judith, yes, Judith, please, if you don't mind, could you unmute and tell us, what do we start with? Judith, you're talking about mixing the SAT with the main meal. Are you able to unmute, Madam Judith, and give us your comment? How should we go about this one? Mixing cake and food and everything else. Where's Judith?
I'm here, I'm talking. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you show us yourself, maybe your name and your organization?
My name is Judith. Action 8.
Yeah, we can see you. Go ahead.
Allow me to unmute. Yeah, so I've seen this actually, both public NGO where I am actually, is people tend to go fast for the food, the main course, and you end up putting their, and cakes, the same plate, while on the table you actually have no idea which cutlery to use for what. I think that's it's a problem out here, and I wish we could resolve it as leaders, as we lead our teams. Maybe these are the causes that someone gets on board and they're taken through.
Thank you.
Start with the cold starters as you move the main meal, the main course, and then finally do the dessert.
Thank you, Judith. Yeah, I think, Judith, what you are saying is important. Leaders, whatever function you're having, just do a bit of your homework on what are starters, yeah, like the soup that you start with as an appetizer, yeah, with maybe the bread or whatever is available with the soup. Then after the soup, you'll do your meal. Then after your meal, you're doing your dessert, right? So what Judith is saying, she's concerned with people who pack everything at once, right? There's your food, then there's your fruit, and then there's your dessert, all of it on one plate, yeah? So Judith is saying, let's mind those ones. So please check out those ones, dear leaders, so that you are not embarrassing yourself and also embarrassing your guests and also embarrassing your host. I remember a governor who came here, brought us a whole team of CECs to the KSG and said, please talk to my people about dining etiquette, about how to serve, amounts to serve, all right? Apparently, they had been having a function which the governor then felt a little embarrassed in the way the CECs were handling the dining. So dining is an important issue for leaders. Thank you, Judith, for that comment. Etan says leaving early. What does Etan say? Leaving early from the dining table, leaving the rest of the team who are still eating, especially when you're being hosted. Yeah, there's an ambassador who was in one of my classes, and he had been invited to a meal by the host country in the home of one of the senior leaders there. So he was giving us an account of what happened, and he said he had been hungry the whole day. So when he went and he had sat down and he was given his food, he started eating immediately, only to realize that people were looking at him. Apparently, he came to learn that once people have sat and people have served, the host now gives maybe a word like bon appetit, let us now proceed and start eating. And the same order will be followed when everybody has finished eating, then kind of people like wait for one another. There's that kind of thing, right? So learning your environment where you are is important, especially even with your if you're dining. Yeah, CPA Ronald says you wait for everyone before you start. Bad breath, Kibwana. Kibwana sasa hii ni gani? Bad breath can be unpleasant for colleagues. Choose what to eat. And keep a mint or a mouthwash. Yeah, I'll go with brushing. Zablon on Sembe says, you're laughing at Kibwana's comment. Zablon on Sembe says, the most embarrassing situation can happen when you sit in a place reserved for someone else. Then they come and tell you, please, mkubwa naomba usimame hapa si mahali pako. So please be careful, especially when people are being seated, be careful to be shown where to sit. Over complaining about food. Boniface Mulwa, yes. A friend of mine called Mr. Nyerere told me where he comes from, people don't complain about food. You can keep, unless you're buying it, you can tell the waiter what to give you. But when you're being hosted, you be kind. You can taste and leave it without a lot of complaint. Musioka Susan, burping too loudly, not good, right? Thank you. James. Okay, burping too loudly, serving more than one can consume. Yeah, we call that wasting of resources because they remain on the table. When you continue eating while your superiors are finished, placing non-food items on the table, using a fork and a knife when eating kuku kienyeji. Keep like that. Learn to use a fork and knife. Okay, then the Phoebe Mwangi says, serve the foods you're familiar with. I think, Phoebe, that's a good advice so that you don't serve something that can get spoiled for you. Okay. Disrespecting the waiters. Yeah, that's not polite. And while we are still disrespecting the waiters, ladies and gentlemen, please be careful, especially when you are not at home. Even at home, it's not allowed. But when you are outside there, it becomes a problem. I know some of you remember the story about the Bull of Auckland and what the Bull of Auckland went doing across the borders that almost cost us a diplomatic row. So please be careful with the waiters and the waitresses and even the people who serve us in the rooms, right? Somebody has also said using pili-pili, coughing, a non-user, you're asking, that is you. Is it a lack of etiquette to skip a course during dinner? No, it's not lack of etiquette, but when you are dining together, then you will wait for the others so that you go together. Otherwise, you may have your own reasons for skipping. So it's not lack of etiquette, only that you may have to, if you're not taking the soup and people are dining together or a host is hosting you, then you might need to wait to go in tandem with the team. Okay, I think we're almost done with the comments. Mwinzi, you're right. Mwinzi, Pauline, picking a takeaway. Please, ati now mkubwa amesema awekewe hizo bones anapelekea kuku. Please save yourself such kinds of embarrassment. Thank you, Mwinzi, for bringing that out. Yeah, yes. Wearing inappropriately to the dining room. Okay, yes. Please take note of that. Okay, Osoja is saying dining should be a respected area. Yeah, caps, bikinis, slippers, unless otherwise you are in the coast. Yeah, but when you are doing official dining, official eateries, we respect the dining area. If alcoholic drinks are served, taking too much and becoming the unintended entertainer. Again, their leader, please know yourself and know when it is time to go home. So yes, we have talked about etiquette and protocol. Those are some of the issues we need to consider as leaders so that we are not an embarrassment both to ourselves and even to our organization. So please kindly, if there are areas of improvement that you need to make, please note those areas so that in as much as you are technically savvy, you know what you're supposed to do, the skill is okay, the soft skills that makes or breaks a leader are very, very important. We noticed, again, today, the social media is also not very kind to leaders. Some of our leaders had to bear the brunt of social media because of the way they do their dining and the way they do their etiquette. Yeah, that's important. So looking at those areas is important. And another area of etiquette could be issues like even meetings, yeah, especially with virtual meetings, the way we are today. Checking just that you're okay, you are ready for that particular meeting is important. Sometimes you have to mute people or tell people to mute, or maybe a video is showing that maybe they did not intend. So meeting etiquette is important. Also minding our telephone etiquette. Somebody has said, don't bring your dining things to the table. Even the ringtone, yeah. I wonder whether we have any religious leaders in the house, but there's a religious leader whose phone rang during a service, and it was not a song that you'd like to play when you do this activity, right? So just minding those ones are very important. And also putting people on speakerphone, yeah. You have noticed that some of our leaders, very senior leaders, saying, let me put the leader on speakerphone so that you can be able to hear. Sometimes you need to ask, can I put the leader, can I put you on speakerphone? Because maybe what you're saying, I wanted the rest of my team to hear, right? I will not pen off on etiquette and protocol without saying that we have a program we do at the Kenya School of Government called Protocol and Etiquette. Somebody to mute, please. Somebody may need to mute. I was just saying we have a program at the Kenya School of Government on protocol and etiquette that might interest you, and even interest those who are reporting to you who might be interested in bettering their protocol and etiquette skills. Now, I want to pause there and ask if there are any questions or concerns that we have not dealt with. Then I will be able to take them. Or comments or observations that you need to make about the various discussions that we have had. Do we have some questions that we have not dealt with, or do we have some issues that we still need to address before we end the session? The floor is open. A comment or something that you wish your team to know, the floor is open. For like 2 to 3 minutes, then we will wrap it up. Okay. So there being no question or any further comment, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for actively participating in today's session. We have discussed issues, etiquette, issues, communications, issues, emotional intelligence, issues to do with teamwork, building teams and supporting your team. So these are things that go a long way in packaging the leader. So I want to wish you well. Our floor is still open. You could still go on discussing some of these issues, especially the ones that maybe one of your colleagues mentioned, but you think you want to take up with them. We are still free to discuss. With those many remarks, I want to say thank you and invite, I don't know whether our team leader, the class president, is with us. If the class president is there, they can release us. If not, we will select a random person. So is a class president or deputy or any class leaders with us? Okay. All right. We do not have a class leader. Caroline Rakama, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Could you maybe release the team? Thank you very much from my end.
Yes.
I appreciate and wish you well in your next course.
Okay, so I want to thank, I want to thank on behalf of my colleagues who are also attending this course. We want to say thank you, Mwalimu. We have learned quite a bit. I also want to thank the fellow participants for the lively engagement. I can say we have learned from each other as well as learned from you. And I just want to wish everyone the best, even as we carry on with the other duties. So thank you so very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Caroline. And members, thank you. We can now leave at our own pleasure. Asante sana.